Hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everyone who has joined me already. I really couldn't do this without you. And I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has actually wished me a speedy recovery with my eyes. I can officially tell you that I am on the mend. So what happened was, I'll just take this off. I had an allergic reaction. So my eyes, as you can see, they're still quite swollen. If I come closer, you see here in the corner and this corner here, all of this was angry red, very, very scaly, and it came up across here and underneath here. My eyeballs were bloodshot red. They were dry, they were scratchy, they were gunky, they were weeping. It was horrible. And it wasn't fun, and I couldn't stare at a screen. It was always too bright and things like that. So this mucked up my schedule. But I had a treatment plan. And I had some eye drops and this weird gel that I have to rub over my eyes, and it seems to be working. And hopefully by next week, my eyes will be back to normal, or at least I'll be able to take the sunglasses off. Let's just put it like that. But I felt like my eyes had gone to the equivalent of perhaps someone within their 80s. That's what it felt like. It looked really, really bad. So it really, of course, mucked up my schedule, unfortunately. That's just the way that it works when things like that happened. So normally I would prep everything within the week, and I would write everything, and I would develop the tiles and everything that I showed to you on the screen on a Saturday. I'll pre-record the Doctor Who for the Sunday, and I release it as an announced video on the Saturday. Normally that's what I do, but that didn't happen this time. I just had to do it for the Sunday instead. That was all I could do. And I've had to stagger my videos over the week. So yeah, but you know what? Eyes are more important than making videos. This video is well over a week late. I was supposed to have done it really last week as a bonus video for you, but I ended up adapting it for today for Woke Wednesday. It's the best that I can do. But you know what? This video is about Disney. It's about the wokeness that goes on with Disney. So let's get into it. And thanks again to everyone who wished me well with my recovery. I'm almost there and hopefully back to normal by next week. Let's get going. So, Inside Out 2 is the biggest grossing animated film this year. Now, I believe this is because they probably left out the woke messaging that they have become so lovingly fond of, and the importance to push it to the forefront instead of telling a damn good story. Disney apparently called the shots with Disney Pixar's Inside Out 2, and apparently they told them to make it less gay. And I think this has probably really helped in its success. I do believe that this film was going to be relying on word of mouth alone. And clearly that happened. Disney Inside Out 2 controversy explained former employees have spoken out against Disney, alleging a toxic work environment during the production of Inside Out 2, with some claiming that there were notes to make Riley seem less gay. Inside Out 2 was a massive hit with both critics and audiences, and snatched the crown from Disney's live action Lion King remake as the biggest animated movie of all time. That's funny to hear that because, it's a live action, yet it had to be animated. Anyway, moving on. The film explores the mind of teen girl protagonist Riley, depicting her emotions, joy, sadness, anxiety as characters with conflicting goals. The film's story emphasizing the importance of maintaining good health. Behind the scenes of Inside Out 2, anxiety seems to be reigned supreme, with former Pixar employees speaking of a toxic, disorganized work environment and claims of Disney leadership attempting to tone down the film's queer themes. What happened behind the scenes of Inside Out 2? An IGN reporter, quoting former Pixar employees that worked on Inside Out 2, describes a messy production with staff pushed to their limits and many suffering layoffs despite the film's success. Now, I don't think that's actually cool to lay people off. I don't like things like that. One source described the film's production as the largest crunch in the studio's history, so that basically means overtime. Hey, you know what? I work overtime all the time. From a creative standpoint, Disney reportedly made notes to make Riley seem less gay, with sources alleging that leadership was uncomfortable with the film's queer themes. Allegations of a toxic work environment didn't surprise jaded internet commentators who expect Disney to act like a malevolent mega corporation, but many were taken aback by the reported censorship of the LGBTQ themes. Now, maybe this is because Disney has realized that when it comes to children's films, this is not the best angle to actually run with at the forefront. Riley is not depicted as queer in Inside Out 2, but the film shows her desperately attempting to impress an older girl, Val, who is something of a mentor to Riley. Allegedly, efforts were made to depict the relationship between the two as purely platonic, such as editing, tone, and lighting to make their scenes appear less romantic. One source describes the edits as doing a lot of extra work to make sure that no one would potentially see them as not straight. Another source claimed that Disney leadership blames the box office failure of Lightyear 2022 on a brief gay kiss between two characters. I actually think it's probably more likely to do with the story, actually. They'll bring up Lightyear specifically and say, oh, Lightyear was a financial failure because it had a queer kiss in it. Now, that alone wouldn't have caused it. The source told IGN that's not the reason the movie failed. At the time, the film's gay kiss was just another piece of ammunition for the culture war, sparking conservative outrage. But for many Pixar fans, Lightyear proved a disappointment due to its premise and story. So Disney worked really hard by pushing Pixar to actually push back these supposed queer themes that it had in it. Now, you would think that with forefront DEI, Disney would tread carefully as to what they're actually putting into their content. And obviously, they did that with the Pixar movie Inside Out 2. And maybe even what their talent was saying. Now, this is where we come to Agatha All Along. I've watched the first episode. I probably will watch the second episode. It's not as bad as The Acolyte, that's for sure. Let's just put it like that. So the one thing I will say about Agatha All Along is it's definitely not a kids show. That's for sure. But it's on Disney Plus anyway. Agatha All Along stars Catherine Hahn, Aubrey Plaza, and Joe Locke on how queer it is. It will be a gay explosion by the end of it. This is from Variety. Go and watch the Variety video if you haven't already seen it of the red carpet interview with them. The cast and creators behind Agatha All Along are celebrating the Disney Plus series' unprecedented LGBTQ representation. I would agree with that. Shashir Zamata, who plays Jennifer Kale, said when told at Monday's premiere that Agatha has been described as the gayest project Marvel has ever done. She was told that? Interesting. You'll see when you watch, witches are queer inherently, just because we are outcasts and set aside for many reasons. This show shows a really good representation of different types of people and that we can all use the power we have within to go forward and be great. Joe Locke, who plays Teen, explained, it's got many layers and gay is one of them. That's one of the great things about the show. Teen is a queer guy on the show, but it's not the driving force, which I think is really great. Sorry, the irony behind that statement. It's not the driving force, even though they're talking about it. It's really nice to just have these positive queer characters. How about just having the character be queer and integrate within the piece just naturally and not make a big deal of it? Just a suggestion. Catherine Hahn, who stars as Agatha Harkness, explained, what is the most exciting thing about it is that's not exactly what it's about. It's so normalized. So Joe Locke came out publicly shortly after his star-making acting debut in Heartstopper. Zamata, a former Saturday Night Live player, came out as queer in an interview earlier this month with LGBTQ outlet Them. I've always looked up to Wanda Sykes as another Black queer woman in comedy. Living her truth is really inspiring and awesome. She said at the Agatha premiere, I feel proud to be amongst a lot of great people who do that openly. It is the gayest show on Marvel, said Ali Ann, who plays Alice Wu Gulliver. There is a lot of pageantry we're competing with. I think the thing that makes it more gay is that we're singing with Patty. Does Patty LuPone know that you say that? So yeah, that was obviously coaxed out of Variety. But you would really think that perhaps that Disney would actually say, "No, just rein it in, don't focus on that. Talk about the actual show, don't actually talk about the LGBTQ and our DEI themes. That's not the talking point. Our talking points should be this is about witches." Agatha, all along the spin-off from the spin-off WandaVision is certainly to make some waves here in the promotion department. So yes, Variety are running with the gayest theme again. So you recognize it? I said it earlier, the same theme that news outlets were running with The Acolyte. Now, I don't care about people being gay, but I do take issue with the fact that right now this seems to be the tagline of my industry. DEI seems to be the tagline of it more so, and the actors are running with it off their own backs, or the companies are telling them they have to say this and this and this, focus on the DEI. We are being so inclusive, that kind of thing. And being a part of the DEI is not the entertainment here. They are not the part of the joke. They are being included, but in my opinion, an actual very discriminatory way because they are making it a point. It doesn't need to be the main focus of the companies by them pushing it to the forefront. Why are you doing that? Don't make them scapegoats. Yes, cast black people. Yes. Cast minority ethnic groups. Yes. Cast LGBT and non-binary. Just not at the detriment of good stories and leaving out other people. Don't make the DEI the talking point. It puts people off. This is how you tank your brand in 10 years, 101. Now, Disney has had few successes in the last few years, and I think it needs to sit down, calm down, and figure it out exactly where it went wrong. Clearly, they're noticing that something is very off because they wouldn't have done what they did with Inside Out 2. But one movie isn't enough. It needs to be applied across board. But maybe they won't realize that until Snow White 2025. Let me know what you think. Chat about it, don't chat about it. Like the video if you would like to, and I will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Well, actually, no, I won't see you tomorrow at 4 p.m., but there will be a video tomorrow at 4 p.m. What does that mean? You'll find out tomorrow. Make sure you tune in then. Bye bye.